Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Oh snap! And here we go with the crystal giveaway. I'm going to be pulling 20 names out first for the 300 crystals each. I will be sort of privately verifying that all of those names have not been, repeated or duplicated or in any way, shape, or form increased their odds to actually be in the giveaway. We've got almost 5,000 of you, so I do have to do my due diligence as far as security goes. And then on top of that, as per my word and as per my additional giveaway, because we got over 4,000, I'm really impressed, over 4,000 signups, we are going to go for an additional 4 winners after those 20, and those additional 4 winners, again, verifying that they only entered once each, will be given, an additional $10 Google Play or Apple gift card, depending on which one they would prefer. And I'll just have to email them individually to find out what they want, so I can give it to them. I'm not gonna sit here and guess. So here we go for the 20 winners. As long as Dummy is not chosen, which was me, we will be good to go. So let's pick a winner here. Let's see what happens. Click pick a winner. It loads. Takes a really long time to load. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to just keep clicking, pick a winner, I guess. I didn't think it was gonna take this long. So let me just fast forward through clicking this thing 20 times.
Sean Betts. Andrew Thomas. Night Mage. Ivalo. I thought it was Sean Butts, I'm gonna be really honest. Rastul. Lee. Okay. There we go. We got Kieran May. Good stuff. I don't even know how many we're at right now. Mustafa. Nice. I knew someone, by the way, once upon a time I knew a man whose name was Mustafa and his last name was Mustafa. So he was Mustafa. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, Mohammed, nice. We got K Mancine, we got Pravilix. I recognize some of these people from Twitch. I recognize some of these people from YouTube. So it's really, really nice. I don't know why the signups dropped from 446. Listen, here's the weird thing. This number here is going to keep fluctuating. The number doesn't matter because for some reason, if the page gets interrupted before it's finished refreshing, you can see, if the page for some reason is interrupted before it's finished refreshing, the number will show up lower than this. Sometimes I've opened this on random days and I've seen the number at like 3,000, and I'm like, what happened? Did Thanos dust half my winners or half my signups? No, it's just the website. It's a bit the HTML or whatever is a bit wonky sometimes. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 5 more. Ed Cater, Alan, Edwin, Dark Knight. We got Matkovic. Okay, nice. We got Kurt Wooten. Kurt Wooten reminds me of Victor Wooten. If you guys love bass, you should check out Victor Wooten. Joshua. Victor Wooten is an insane bassist. Probably one of the greatest bass players on earth. With his just bananas talent. Just beyond, just insane talent. Who we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay, so there you go. Kaden, Vanya, Joshua. Joshua, we said Joshua. Those 20 are our winners for... Yay! For the crystal giveaway. Now let's choose the additional 4 winners for the Google Play or Apple gift cards. So we're gonna pull one here. So apologies to Caden, you were 1 short of being chosen, but our first winner is Vincent Jacob. Stop telling me to translate this page. Vincent Jacob, congratulations, you were the first one chosen. Who's next? Sam Vampire. Ooh, Sammy Vampire. Oh, gonna hunt me some vampires. Anish Gosh, and who is number 4? Dun 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 dun. We have William Nguyen. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. So congratulations to all the winners. I will be contacting you all privately on your email addresses, so make sure you look out for those emails. And to everybody else that didn't win, and next month I will see you for more giveaways, and maybe we'll give away even more things next time. Haha. So moving on to Magik that I wanted to discuss a little bit. Magik and Namor. I was gonna say her brother Namor, but that's not true. Her brother's Colossus. So yeah, something that I failed to mention in the previous video today is that Magik's 4th skill apparently augments all of her skills. So apparently it changes the active damage from energy or physical to flame for all of the other skills. Now I did notice, and I did mention in the video, that there were physical and sort of animation changes to both 1 and 2. The arrow turns into an actual firebird, and for the second skill there's an additional sort of plume, sort of this like lava effect, sort of like a miniature version of Molten Man's 4th skill coming up on her 2nd skill. But I didn't notice that much on the 3rd skill, and I honestly didn't notice much on the 5th skill from the limited testing that I did. But I want to keep her build the same, and I actually want to go and test this out now. Additionally, before we get into the testing for Magik, I want to let you guys know that I went ahead and I tested Namor. I went in against Ebony Maw. I did a bunch of skills to build up the tier 3 skill, and then I let all of his active buffs disappear. So like his 4th skill active buff, his 5th skill active buff, whatever. And then I did the 6th skill, and I counted the number of buffs. And I also paid attention to and I compared the icons, and it's exactly the same. So this is a visual error on his new ultimate skill, not listing all of the effects. All of the effects are still there, in addition to, I don't think, maybe the fire resist, no, the decrease all resistance down was always there. So yeah, the only difference now is that it does fire damage instead of, what was it, physical damage. That is the only difference in the skill's effect. And then maybe the actual damage, 180. Yeah, it actually does. It has a lower percentage. It's 126% of physical attack instead of 180. But there's a chance that there are more hits on his ultimate skill to compensate for that fact. But they're exactly the same. So I actually want to throw this question out to you guys before we jump into some Magik gameplay. In a situation like this, do you think it's more interesting for us, the community, to try and figure out these differences and try and work it out for ourselves? Or, and so do you think Netmarble should just leave it the way it is, and if they make changes to not mention anything? Or do you think it's Netmarble's responsibility when it comes to a tier 3 character that's so expensive to build up? Do you think it's their responsibility to be like, hey, we changed this, but it's still the same? I actually don't know what I think and what which one is better, so I leave it up to you guys to decide here. So we're going to be going up against a stage 50 Ebony. We're going to be testing out Magik's abilities. We're just going to be throwing in a regular leadership. We don't want to augment her damage from fire. So because this is we're trying to isolate the value of her 4th skill augmenting her other skills. So we're actually going to go through her full rotation, see how many times it takes us to do her full rotation minus her 4th skill, so not using her 4th skill. We're going to see how much damage each individual skill does and sort of do the eyeball test. And then see what happens when we jump back into this stage in a couple seconds here, or like in a minute or whatever, how much damage she does. Okay, so that's very, very little. You know what? Let's go to a smaller stage just so we can get down. We can get down to approximately 1 bar a little bit faster, so that we will be able to tell much more quickly. Okay, we're gonna drop down to 35. It was my mistake to go up to 50. We don't want to be there forever, and we don't want to have to keep track of, like, I did 5 full rotations of 5, 1, 2, 3 plus an additional 5 skill. It's just too many numbers, too many different variables that I'm trying to track live while I'm doing this video for you guys. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We're gonna wait for his buff to go away. We're gonna do the 5th skill here. There we go. It actually isn't that much more damage than before. Okay, there's the 1st skill. There's the 3rd skill. There is the 2nd skill. We're going to do the 1st skill again. We're going to do the 5th skill. All right, let's just go down to half a bar. How's that? Rather than going down to a full bar, let's just go down to half a bar and see if that, see how long that takes. And we'll be able to see, this looks like something like 3 rotations of 5 right now. He hasn't really interrupted any of the attacks. Like, he hasn't iframes during my 5th skill to interrupt me, so that is good. This looks like 4 full rotations of 5 here in about 45 seconds. So yeah, so about 45 seconds and about 4 full rotations of 5 with a lot of 1, 2, and 3. More so than this just once each, because the 5th skill had to go on cooldown, so I was casting 1, 2, and 3 more than once. So technically it's more than 4 rotations, but it's only 4 times using the 5th skill. Now we're going to do the same thing same thing as last time, but we're going to open with the 4th skill to presumably give all of our attacks that elemental damage buff, or that elemental change buff, in addition to actually providing damage on her 4th skill, which is something you have to account for. We're only going to get to do the 4th skill presumably once or twice, so that's not too big of a deal. But it doesn't look like there's definitely more damage on 1, which is the skill that her 4th buffs. So we're pretty much there now. So I honestly, to be perfectly honest with you guys, and I'll do it again, you guys obviously should make the choice. You should make the decision. You should watch the video and be like, you know what, I think it is, I think it's not. But in my opinion, it seems like her 1st skill is definitely doing a lot more damage when I use her 4th skill, and that's to be expected because her 4th skill has a buff that directly interacts with her 1st skill. But it doesn't really seem like her 5th skill is doing more damage. which is, you know, maybe it is still flame damage, but it's just not as much as we expected it to be. But yeah, it seems very similar. But then when you do the 1, you can see that the damage really starts to show up there in a much bigger way. So I think that's really the reason why I'm able to get down to half so quickly, is because not only is the first skill doing like, I don't know, 5 times more damage, but it's also on cooldown every second, so I can spam it. So it seems to be about half the time. I believe it was 45 seconds to get down to half, and this is about 27 seconds. It's not quite half as long, but it's close. But yeah, there's definitely something going on. Now, whether it's only the first skill, or whether it's the first couple of skills, or whether it's all 5 skills, that's a much more difficult thing to find out. The best way to check this would actually be to go into Shadowland, now that I think about it, and see the different damage numbers, compare them using a skill or using a stage that has fire immunity. So we're looking for a fire immunity stage. So hang on, let me try to find one. Holy cow, finally I found it. All the way up at stage 65. I blew like 5 million gold, rolling through stages away. Like, man, honestly, sometimes I feel like the game knows. When you're looking for a stage, they don't give it to you. When you're looking for a specific stat, when you're re-rolling the uniform options, it gives you all 4 other stats like crazy. Anyways, let's get into it. We're going to do the full rotation with 5, 1, and 3 just as is. And we're going to see what happens as far as the damage goes. And you can see the damage. Don't die. The damage is there. It's not 1s. So she's actually not dealing fire damage now with any of her skills. I think I saw maybe 1 immunity pop up. She's not dealing a lot of damage here. You got to look for the gray text kind of underneath. There's a little bit of fire immunity there. I think it's the first skill maybe, or maybe it's the 3rd skill. No, there's actually fire at the end of the first skill. Yeah, it is actually the first skill. Yeah, it's the first skill. The little thing that you shoot out has fire damage at the end of that. And I believe the 3rd skill, what gets landed on the ground there? No, maybe not. Maybe it's just 1 and 2 then. So there's the 1. No. Okay. So yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of fire damage on 1, 2, or 3 without using 4. Now let's go back in and actually use 4 this time at the beginning and see what happens to the rest of her skills. It's gonna be pretty risky. I want to try not to die, because I want to be able to use 5 right away. But you know what? Actually, let's use 5 first, just to protect ourselves. And then we're going to open with 4. 4 should see fire. Okay, so we see a lot more fire immunity now. We're not seeing nearly as much damage. The numbers are a lot lower, and they're being interrupted by a lot more gray. Yeah, there's still damage on 1, but there's a lot more interrupted at the end. 5 still has the same damage. 3 still has damage. Let's cast 4 again here. Let's see 2. Still damage. 1 seems to be the only skill that's affected, really, where you see the gray really start to take over. Yeah, it might just be 1, guys. I don't know if all of the skills turn to fire damage, but it might just be the first skill. I don't know if it's all the skills. This is not like irrefutable evidence, but this is 4 definitely has fire damage. We know that. So we can see the immunity on 4, and we can see the immunity on 1. You can see there's tons of gray when I cast 1, and when I stop casting, the gray goes away. But then when I cast 5, there's no gray, which means there's no immunity. There's no fire immunity. And you can see now with the buff gone from 4, let me recast 5 here. With the buff gone from 4, when I cast 1, there is still some gray, but it's much, much, much less. But now when I cast 5, and then I go ahead and I cast 4, 4 obviously brings up a lot of immunity, but now 1 brings up a lot more immunity, and there's only a couple of hits there. I think it's the 2 swings of her sword that get counted as regular damage, but then all of the other parts get calculated as fire damage, which means that they're immune. But when we do 4 and we have the buff up and the flaming sword, you can see the 2 skill still does damage. You can see the 3 skill. There's actually some immunity there on the 3 skill. But I see a little bit of immunity on 2. Just a little bit, and then a little bit on 3, but its majority of it is on 4, and I don't think there's any at all on 5. I could be wrong, but I didn't see almost any on the 5th skill, so I don't think you can conclusively say, unless you have better evidence than that, I don't think anyone can conclusively say that her Flames of Doom applies or changes the active damage type of all of her skills to flame. It definitely changes 1, definitely, and that's what I would say. It might change 3, but then 2 and 5, I'm very skeptical about it changing. So this is not the most important thing in the world. Magik is still gonna be an upgrade with this uniform over her base look, and she's obviously gonna be able to take down Ebony Maw. You do need to pay attention to some Shadowland stages or some other game modes if there ever is that sort of requirement where fire damage deals more damage or where fire damage is immune, so you can't deal fire damage. She will struggle based on those results, but you also have to pay attention to Reflect because she has energy and physical damage, so you do need to pay attention to that. But actually, the physical damage on Demons of Limbo might be their physical damage. It might not be her physical damage, but I'm not exactly sure yet. I don't think I've tested Magik on a physical Reflect stage. We'll have to do that later on. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of the renewed stats and sort of the renewed ideas around these uniforms and sort of clearing up the misconceptions and the rumors that may be going around. I'm going to be doing a full in-depth look at one of these 2 uniforms next, so let me know what you'd like to see. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.